JPEG, which stands for Joint Photographic Experts Group, is the most widely used image format in the world. It was created in 1992 by a group with the same name, and that's why it was called JPEG. You might also see this format with different extensions like JPG and JPE. The reason is that at that time, operating systems only allowed file extensions with 3 letters. Since they couldn't accept more than 3 letters, JPEG was shortened to JPE and JPG, and there is no difference between them. JPEG is actually a compression algorithm that is used to reduce the size of images so they take up less storage space. To explain it in a very simple way, every image is made up of many tiny colored squares called pixels. What a compression algorithm does is make the colors of some very similar pixels the same, and removing the small differences between them. As a result, the image loses a little quality, but its file size also becomes smaller. The JPEG algorithm uses a high level of compression. That is why JPEG images usually lose more quality than some other formats, but they also have much smaller file sizes. Because of this, JPEG is the best choice for websites, photos saved on mobile phones, screenshots, and almost anywhere that keeping the file size small is important. GIF is not actually a compression algorithm. It's a container that adds some extra information to a JPEG image. A GIF file stores information such as the image's DPI, or dots per inch. DPI means how many colored dots should exist in every inch of each row of an image so that the image gets printed at the correct size. Without that, a JPEG image can be printed at almost any size, and there is no way to know what its original physical size was supposed to be. Imagine that a JPEG image is a letter, and the GIF format is the envelope with the delivery address written on it. Without the envelope, the letter can still be read, but the mailman can deliver it to anyone. I couldn't explain it in a simpler way than that. Anyway, this extra information is not important on computers or mobile phones because they only care about the image resolution, and the picture is simply displayed at its resolution. However, nowadays almost all JPEG images are actually stored in the GIF format and already include this extra information, and only their displayed format is JPEG. PNG is the second most popular image format in the world, which, unlike JPG, also supports transparency. In this format, besides the R, G, and B values that show the color of each pixel, there is another value called alpha. The alpha value determines how transparent each pixel is. The JPEG format doesn't have this option, and if we convert a PNG image to it, the transparent pixels will turn white. Of course, changing the format of images doesn't happen by just changing their extension to another extension. That way, you've only changed a name and wasted your time. To actually change the format of an image, you need to visit websites that do this for you online, and after that, you can clearly see the difference between JPG and PNG. The image compression rate in the PNG algorithm is much lower than JPG, and in it, the image quality is high, and yes, the file size is also high. So if you have a lot of storage space, for having sharper, higher quality, more detailed images, and of course with a transparent background, I recommend you save your images in PNG format. BMP stands for Bitmap and is an old image format created by Microsoft. In this format, almost no compression is done on the image, and the image is saved with a quality close to the original and a terribly large file size. This format, like PNG, also supports the alpha channel, which means we can have a transparent background in it, and like JPG also has a container called DIB, whose role is exactly like GIF for JPG. Overall, this format is almost no longer used today, and its main use was between the years 1985 and 1996, mostly in programming projects and weak industrial devices, due to the high speed of reading the image content because of the lack of compression. TIF or TIFF, which sometimes has 2 Fs, is a popular format for design and printing. The compression in this format is very low and almost close to zero, which is why the original image quality is highly preserved in it, and its file size is also very high. We can say that in terms of file size and image quality, this format sits somewhere between the PNG and BMP formats, but very close to BMP. The TF format also supports transparency layer like PNG and BMP. In addition, it can contain several other different images inside itself, meaning a TIFF file can have multiple images, or pages as they're called. You can download an example of a multi-page TIFF file from our Telegram channel and open it with software like GIMP or Photoshop, or you can easily open it with the Windows Photo Viewer program and see its different pages. In my opinion, GIF is one of the best inventions of mankind. It's a format that if it didn't exist, chatting with others wouldn't be as much fun. Inside a GIF file, there are several images, each of which is called a frame. The frames in a GIF play one after another in the order they are arranged. In GIF Maker websites, you can change the speed of a GIF, and when it reaches the last frame, this cycle will repeat. GIF also supports transparency and can contain transparent frames. The number of frames in a GIF file doesn't have a specific limit, and its file size usually depends a lot on the number of frames inside it. The more frames there are, the larger the file size will be. WebP is a relatively new format introduced by Google for use on websites. Every image compression algorithm can compress images with two methods, lossy and lossless. In the lossy method, the algorithm throws away a large amount of image details so that we end up with an image with a smaller file size, but also lower quality. But in the lossless method, the image compression is almost at 0%, and the image details are preserved, which results in a higher quality image with a larger file size. For example, JPEG has a lossy compression method, and PNG has a lossless one. But the WebP format has both of these methods together and can perform either lossy or lossless compression on an image, depending on the user's choice. WebP also supports animated images exactly like GIF, as well as transparent layers like PNG. Google actually saw the WebP format as a new and modern format, and a replacement for PNG, JPG, and even GIF, specifically designed for use on websites. Today in most websites and Google services, images are stored and displayed as WebP, but it has a more powerful rival that we'll talk about in the next part of this video. ICO is the default format for icons in Windows. This format was introduced in 1985 with Windows 1 by Microsoft and still exists in Windows today. Every program and shortcut icon you see in Windows is an ICO image. This format, like PNG, supports transparency and also has lossless compression. However, ICO images usually have a very small file size because the maximum resolution of an ICO is 256 by 256 pixels. The most interesting feature of ICO that sets it apart from the rest is its support for multiple images within a single file. You can put several different images with different sizes inside one ICO file so that Windows displays the appropriately sized image depending on where the icon is being shown. Of course, the ICO format is not limited to just within Windows, and you can also see them on websites.